Welcome back, everyone. If you're tuning into this explainer today, chances are you've either got a full-blown botanical emergency on your hands, or you just want to be totally prepared for when you inevitably do. Today, we are enthusiastically taking on the ultimate indoor jungle challenge, diagnosing and saving your wilting houseplants. You know, there is literally nothing quite as alarming as seeing your beloved, once perky plant suddenly looking limp and lifeless. But hey, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place to fix it.
I completely understand that immediate sinking panic you feel when you walk into a room and see your plant just dramatically slumped over the side of its pot. Your very first thought is probably, oh no, why is my plant suddenly dying? But I want to de-escalate that panic right now. Take a deep breath. Wilting is rarely an instant death sentence. Actually, it's really just your plant's most dramatic visual cry for help. It's a communication tool, and today we're going to learn exactly how to decode that message so you can bring your green friends back to life.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a really clear, logical plan to shift you from panic to proactive troubleshooting. We'll kick things off with emergency plant triage. Look at the science behind wilting. Fix over and underwatering, cure transplant and environment shock, tackle pests and low humidity, and finally, preventing future plant problems.
Section 1. Emergency Plant Triage.
All right, I need you to stop exactly what you're doing right now. Your very first instinct when you see a drooping plant is probably to reach straight for the watering can. But listen to me, without a proper diagnosis, that could be a fatal mistake. So, step 1, do not water it yet. Step 2, pick up the pot. Is it surprisingly light, or is it heavy and dense? Step 3, stick your finger about 2 inches down into the soil. We need to know if it's dry all the way down or if it's wet and soggy beneath the surface. Step 4, take a sniff. Yes, literally smell the soil. If you catch a musty, sour, or kind of swampy odor, we have a serious emergency on our hands. And finally, step 5, inspect the leaves. Look really closely at them. Are the edges crispy and dry, or are the lower leaves turning a soft, mushy yellow? Answering these specific questions is absolutely crucial. It's the only way to actually diagnose the issue.
Section 2. The science behind wilting.
Before we start fixing things, we need to understand the biological mechanics at play. Wilting almost always points to a disruption in how water moves from the roots all the way up to the leaves. To visualize this, I want you to think of your plant cells like millions of tiny little water balloons. When those balloons are completely full of water, they're firm, right? They're rigid. This internal water pressure is known as turgor pressure, and it is literally the thing holding your plant upright. But when the roots can't supply water as fast as the leaves are losing it, which happens through a natural process called transpiration, those tiny balloons start to deflate. And when the balloons deflate, the plant structure just can't support itself anymore, and boom, you've got a drooping plant. So our main job today is figuring out exactly what is disrupting that water supply line.
Section 3. Fix over and underwatering. Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly these two opposite states contrast with each other. On one side, we have underwatering. The soil is bone dry all the way through. The pot feels remarkably light when you lift it, and the leaves are limp, sure, but they're still mostly green. The fix here is obvious, right? It just needs a good drink. But on the other side, we have the deceptive and incredibly dangerous overwatering. The pot feels heavy, the soil is totally soggy, and those lower leaves are getting soft and yellow. You might even notice that musty smell we talked about earlier. This is a cruel irony of nature, honestly, because when soil is constantly waterlogged, the roots suffocate and rot. And since dead roots can't absorb moisture, your plant is literally wilting from thirst while sitting in a giant puddle of water. Crazy, right?
So, if you've done your triage and diagnosed underwatering, fixing it is pretty straightforward, but it does require a specific technique. Do not just pour water on top of the soil. Bone-dry soil can actually repel water, it'll just run right down the sides. Instead, we're going to do what's called bottom watering. Just place the pot in a tray filled with a few inches of water and leave it alone for 30 to 60 minutes. The soil is going to act just like a sponge, drawing up all the moisture it needs from below. Once it's fully hydrated, take it out and let it drain completely. And you know what the incredibly satisfying part is? Your plant should perk right back up within just 1 to 4 hours. It's like magic.
But if you diagnosed overwatering and root rot, guys, this is a code red. You need to stop watering immediately. Carefully unpot the plant and take a hard look at its roots. Healthy roots are going to be firm and light-colored. Rotted roots are brown, black, and super mushy. You have to take a pair of sterile shears and trim away every single rotting root. Seriously, don't be shy. Cut the whole shebang away if it's mushy. After that, repot the plant into completely fresh, well-draining soil in a pot that actually has drainage holes. Pop it in bright, indirect light, and whatever you do, do not feed it any fertilizer right now. I have to be completely honest with you. Recovery here is a very slow 3 to 6 week process. And if the rot was really severe, you might even need to take healthy stem cuttings and just propagate a brand new plant entirely.
Section 4. Curing transplant and environment shock.
You know, plants really despise moving house, almost as much as we do. If you just repotted your plant a day or two ago, you've highly likely caused what's known as transplant shock. Repotting inevitably damages those tiny, fine root hairs that are responsible for absorbing water. The fix for this? Do absolutely nothing. Seriously, don't panic and try to repot it again to fix it. Definitely avoid fertilizer and just give it a week or two of patience so it can recover on its own. Alternatively, we have environment shock. This happens when a plant suddenly faces extreme heat, a cold draft from an AC vent, or getting blasted by scorching sun. These sudden extremes disrupt the plant's vascular system. The solution here is super simple. Just move the plant to a stable, moderate location far away from any drafts. Once its temperature stabilizes, recovery usually takes just a few hours.
Section 5. Tackling pests and low humidity.
Okay, but what if your soil is perfect, the temperature is fine, and it's still wilting? Well, sometimes the sneaky culprits are environmental in ways we can't easily see. First up is low humidity, which leads to something called transpiration overload. This is essentially a physics problem. It's incredibly common in the winter when our heating systems just dry out the indoor air, or if you're trying to keep fussy tropical plants. Basically, the dry air in your home is stealing water from the plant's leaves way faster than the healthy roots can pull it up from the soil. The leaves droop because they are stressed out right at the leaf level. And please, hear me out on this. Misting your plant is not a permanent solution here. It evaporates way too fast. To truly fix this, you're going to need to run a room humidifier near the plant to actually balance the moisture in the air.
Now, if the humidity is totally fine, you might be dealing with an underlying infestation. The worst, right? Keep an eye out for root mealybugs. They look like these tiny, white, waxy masses hiding right in the soil. They attack and damage the roots directly, completely ruining water absorption. If you find them, you'll need to unpot the plant, wash those roots thoroughly, use an insecticidal drench, and then repot it. Another really stubborn culprit is fungal or bacterial stem rot. This awful disease attacks the stem right at the soil line, effectively severing the water supply pipeline to the rest of the plant. Sadly, damaged stems just can't be reversed. If you spot soft or dark, mushy patches on the lower stem, your best bet is to take cuttings from the healthy growth above the damage and propagate them to save the plant's genetics.
And this brilliantly illustrates how not all plants suffer the same way. The absolute drama queens of the underwatering world, that's your peace lilies and basil. They will completely flop over when they're thirsty, but they bounce back incredibly fast. Now, if you are someone who tends to overwater, you really need to watch out for your Monstera deliciosa and golden pothos. They are surprisingly sensitive to soggy soil. And if you have a really dry home, your Boston ferns and calatheas are going to be the very first to collapse from low humidity. Knowing your specific plant's weaknesses is a game changer because it helps you anticipate the problem before the wilting even starts.
I do need to quickly address the succulent exception here, because they kind of play by their own rules. Succulents are totally unique because their physical cues for water stress are highly visual, right there on the leaves. If your succulent's leaves are soft, kind of translucent, and mushy, you're definitely overwatering it. But if the leaves are looking thin, shriveled, and all wrinkled up, it actually desperately needs water. Always check the physical texture of a succulent before you act.
Section 6. Preventing future plant problems.
Okay, let's transition to some proactive medicine for your indoor jungle. The absolutely crucial point I want to make is this. Most wilting is entirely preventable if you just build a few consistent habits. First and foremost, and this is a big one, ditch the watering schedule. Watering on a rigid, every Sunday routine is just a recipe for disaster. Instead, check the soil moisture with your finger before every single watering. When you do finally water, water generously until it drains freely from the bottom. This encourages nice, deep roots. Because of this, having drainage holes and using well-draining soil are absolutely non-negotiable. Keep your plants away from extreme temperature vents or drafty doors, and finally, set yourself up for success by matching the plant to your home's natural environment. If you live in a super dry climate, maybe skip the fussy ferns and opt for something a bit hardier. So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final really important question to ask yourself. Are you actually listening to your plant's physical cues? Or are you just guessing and pouring water on your own anxiety?
By taking a second to check the soil, inspect the leaves, and assess the environment, you never have to panic over a drooping leaf ever again, because now you know exactly what to do. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy troubleshooting.